my calculations are correct, when this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're gonna see some serious shit.
They're here.
Do you really think you have a chance against us, Mr. Cowboy?
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
It's showtime.
Right, welcome everybody to another episode of the VHS Strikes Back. I'm one of your hosts, Chris, and my co-host and very good friend is Dave.
Hey there, Chris, and hello to our listeners out there. Welcome to the VHS Strikes Back, the show where we dust off the old video player and go on a nostalgic journey to look at the good and the bad movies of yesteryear. Now, Chris, what are we going to review this week?
Well, Dave, it's a Patreon pick, and after such classics as Three Men and a Baby and Ghost, which we picked by ourselves, Jack's thrown in another absolute classic, Dave. This one is from 1994, and this is the blockbuster number one selling. No, it's fucking not. This is a movie that I'd never even heard of until it was in the fucking calendar. This stars Denise Richards, the late, great Paul Walker. It is Tammy and the T-Rex. So, from 1994. Dave, had you even heard of this movie?
No, I had no idea this existed. I'm not one for, being a completionist on certain actors and actresses and what have you. What I would say is I think the first thing I saw Denise Richards in was probably Starship Troopers, I think, about 98. And I was sort of in love from that point.
Yeah.
Now, had I known about this 4 years prior to that, when I was 18, my word, I'd have watched this a lot of times, Chris.
Yeah.
So that's all I'll say to that. But I was racking my brain because when I worked in Blockbuster, they had, this like sci-fi section, the horror section and stuff. And there were always, I remember those the old trauma films, and things like, the Toxic Avenger. There were always these offbeat films that people would rent out very occasionally that I remember. And I was trying to think, would this have been in there? But I don't even think it was. Chris, I don't even know if this made it over to these shores.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I hadn't heard of it. And when I saw the trailer, I was like, what the fuck is this? And to be honest, I had to watch the trailer, a couple of times before I even realised Paul Walker was in it. It's like, oh, fucking hell. So, I mean, how about yourself?
Not a fucking clue. And I think you're right. I think Denise Richards, I did see her in Starship Troopers, which they're making a new game for, actually, Dave, which is supposed to look very good, which is going to be interesting. So whether that sort of kickstarts the franchise for another movie. But I remember loving that movie.
With it being sci-fi, I wouldn't have thought you'd have watched that.
No, it's not one of the movies I watch. I don't like sci-fi, Dave. Anyway, I think it's just Alien I didn't like, Dave. I need to retract that statement. I just keep getting called out all the time. Glyn takes great pleasure in saying that. What? You don't like sci-fi? You've watched it? So, yes, I do appreciate that. But no, I saw her in that. And then I think I saw her in Wild Things, which is quite interesting, Dave. We'll talk about that at some point in this episode. But, my God, she's stunning. And I know Charlie Sheen was with her. I've watched her recently in Housewives of Beverly Hills as well, which she did a couple of seasons in. She's now left that series, but caused a load of shit. I don't think she's very mentally stable, now. However, she's still really, really attractive. Well, I'm with you, Dave. Like, she's one of them actresses. At this point, 1994 would have been 15, and I didn't see it. But when I saw her in Wild Things, fucking hell. Talk about shoulder injury. Jesus Christ, Dave. But anyway, she's a stunner. Absolute stunner. So, not having a clue about this. Didn't know Paul Walker. I had a look a bit at the research. Apparently, the director's Paul Walker's great-granddad, Stewart Raffill. So, obviously, why he got the job. And obviously, we all know what unfortunately happened to Paul Walker with Fast and Furious franchise and passing away. But let's be honest, Dave, he's not a good fucking actor at all. He's a good-looking kid, without a doubt, but he's never done anything of substance, has he? He Fast and Furious, Brian O'Connor is his fucking pinnacle of his career. So I wasn't expecting much. And knowing off the trailer what happens, I was like, holy shit, Jack has absolutely stitched us this week. But then thinking, I also want to watch it. So, yeah, looking forward to this one.
Well, it's one of those movies where, when we were introduced to it and you look at the trailer and whatever, you're thinking, what the fuck? How did this come about? Well, like, what is the thinking? And we've spoken in the past that, the process to make a movie is a lot of, it's a lot of lobbying, a lot of writing, a lot of rewriting. You're trying to get the budget. There's a lot of projects that just get stuck in development hell. And then for this, basically, someone just came to the Stewart Raffill and said, "Oh, I've got this animatronic T-Rex. I've just got it available here, but it needs to be shipped off in a few weeks. Do you want to use it?" And he's like, "Right, yeah." So basically, he had a week to write everything. Basically, mobile. I don't know where he got the money from. He must have been fucking funding it himself or something. And then, he's got all these actors. But I think for the casting, I mean, I don't think at this budget, there probably wasn't an actual casting director. Or maybe there was. But I think it's a bit of a masterstroke because Paul Walker, like you say, acting, I don't even know if he'd done an acting lesson before this. But obviously a beautiful kid, right? He'd done modelling, hadn't he? So, get him, looks great on screen. You've got Denise Richards also, done a lot of modelling, get her on screen. They'll kind of have some sort of chemistry, I imagine, right? Okay, and then rapidly put together, what the fuck's this story going to be about? Okay, high school bully, let's go with that and run with it. And yeah, they basically put this together in 2 or 3 weeks, and I'm like, fucking hell, that's quite impressive. I mean, Roger Corman probably is the absolute master. He's the godfather, isn't he? These low budget movies and capitalizing on things that have come out before. Because, of course, Jurassic Park was the year before this. So people are all going a bit dinosaur mad at this time. So I appreciate the opportunism of just thinking, oh, fuck it. I've got, everyone's nuts on dinosaurs. I've got access to this animatronic T-Rex. What the fuck? Let's make a movie. So, yeah, I think the backstory to this is really quite interesting.
To be fair, that would fucking make sense why the movie also makes no sense. So, yeah, you can't argue with that. Film's in limbo for years, and then this has just come along. So, in fact, this has a little bit of my respect. It's almost a Fantastic Four. We've got $1 million. We need to make a film. Let's just make it because of the licensing. And I respect what happened with that one. We always talk about that on the Comics Emotion podcast, didn't we? But yeah, so I get it. But this has also got, it's not actually reviewed that badly, which is bizarre. I mean, it's on 43%, right, on Rotten Tomatoes. However, they then re-released it, and it's got 7 reviews at 100% with an average user rating of 6.6. I'm like, are you taking the mick? Is that like the director and fucking Denise Richards and that? But you also watch this, Dave, and we've watched some proper B movies, haven't we, where you're like, you never see the actors or actresses ever again, do you? Well, whereas Denise Richards and Paul Walker, from this moment on, they obviously... Paul Walker's was definitely... I know he had a couple of other things before Fast and Furious, but Fast and Furious elevated him to a level where he had a very good movie career. With Denise Richards, Dave, she became like one of the A-star. She's not a great actress, but just stunning. Like absolute pin-up. Once you're like FHM sort of world we grew up in, our late teens and everything. She was on every cover of every fucking magazine. Let's be honest, Dave.
Yeah, I mean, she was huge, wasn't she? And obviously in Friends as well. She's the sort of dream girl there, isn't she? And I was surprised, because when we're doing our thorough research, Chris, I was sort of looking, has she done anything since? And like, obviously, you've obviously seen her on the reality TV stuff, but I was quite surprised that she has been working pretty consistently, but it was that time in the late 90s, early 2000s where she was fairly huge. I mean, she was in, obviously you mentioned about Wild Things, she was in The World Is Not Enough, and, got a bit of stick for that as not being a believable scientist. But, I think that was probably the height, wasn't it? Early 2000s. And then she kind of dropped off, out of the A-listers, if you say that, out of the real zeitgeist. But yeah, she has been working a lot and consistently. Even now, she's releasing stuff.
I think, Dave, the Bond one was one of my favourites. And Wild Thing, I said it before. I'm going to keep saying Wild Thing. And I don't want to ruin Wild Thing, Dave. So let's not keep talking about that. But yeah, she was someone that I had a crush on. And unfortunately, the Charlie Sheen thing, the marriage, everything. That's what I think. Sort of, she had a really, really traumatic time with their divorce and everything. When you watched on the reality stuff, like, really got some PTSD there from that relationship. So sad times.
Yeah. Well, on that sour note, Chris, should we get into our trailer?
Let's go.
Everything in Tammy's life is just great. But when you're young and in love, life can get very complicated, especially when it involves an insanely jealous creep.
That's my lady, all right?
Late night phone calls,
I want you to come over.
sneaking around in your own house,
Did you lock the door?
Don't worry.
your boyfriend getting dumped in a wild animal park, and a crazy doctor
Well, that's it.
who turns out to be a mad scientist
I mean, if you're going to make an omelet, you have to break a few eggs, right?
with an insane invention that only needs a brain. But this Tyrannosaurus Rex just wants to be a party animal. Even when you tell the truth, nobody believes it anymore.
It was a dinosaur.
What? It's more than a machine with a brain. I mean, it is a machine with feelings. We are on the brink of something special. We are going to be immortalized.
Is that really you in there? Oh, Michael, what have they done to you?
Oh, you poor thing. You gone crazy.
Byron, I am not going crazy. This is just a little hard to explain.
That's my dinosaur!
We found the dinosaur, Sheriff. It's in a truck being driven by your son.
Byron?
Yes, sir. See a couple of folks back at the hospital. They say he stole it.
Stole what?
The dinosaur.
Oh, jeez.
That is my dinosaur that you are threatening. I made him and he is mine.
What are we going to do?
I will give you immortality.
Not if Tammy has anything to say about it. Tammy and the T-Rex.
Tammy is at cheerleader practice and her new boyfriend Michael walks in from football practice to observe, or lecture bit if you like. They meet Byron, Tammy's gay friend who approves of Michael as her new boyfriend. Shortly thereafter, Tammy's violent and jealous ex-boyfriend Billy arrives with his gang and harasses Michael, and a fight erupts between the two. The police arrive to break up the fight and take Billy into custody, but Tammy is unable to deal with events, breaks down and runs away in tears. Now, Chris, what do you reckon to the opening of this movie?
Oh, Dave, watching and reading the plot definitely make more sense than what's going on. It's bizarre, isn't it? Like, you've got Tammy, and you know what, Dave? I've got a question myself. I'm a 45-year-old man here. Obviously, she's supposed to be 17. When this came out, and I would have been around 15 or something, it was just like, oh my God, tongue on the floor, I'm fucking in love, she's stunning, whatever. Even though I'm that age now, and you're thinking you shouldn't be lecturing at a 17-year-old, you're still looking at it as if you're a kid, aren't you? Like you're a teenager going, oh, she's stunning. She was, no wonder I absolutely loved her, like towards the late 90s. So yeah, she's really, really attractive. I'm fucking going to keep saying this all the way through how attractive she is, but she is, Denise Richards. but I think I'll park that, Dave, before the investigation starts. But
Operation U-Tree. Sorry, I'll just cut across you before I hand it back to you, though. But I have to agree, there is something confusing about it, right? Because you are transported back to that time, and then you're like, fucking hell, I'm a middle-aged man. This is wrong. And that opening scene, what I'd say is they know exactly what they're doing, and I think Denise Richards does too. She always plays these kind of, sorority girl, head of the cheerleaders type of thing, and obviously they're in cheerleading practice. I do think Paul Walker it's just. Imagine again, we're at the camera, we're just behind Paul Walker's shoulder there, so it doesn't look overly lechy. But I'm thinking, can you imagine being in that sports hall and how lechy it would be? Just literally, this one bloke comes in and he's just staring at cheerleader practice. Just look really fucking weird. But again, I have to agree with you. It's just, the defense, Your Honor, is it transports you back, and she's older than both of us.
yeah, that's it. That's my defense, Your Honor. Well, it's not as bad as fucking Rita, Sue and Bob too, is it? Old fucking Bob there, late 30s, they're playing fucking netball or whatever he is, and the teacher doesn't even bat an eyelid when he takes. Oh, is it tennis? Whatever he's doing. Well, he's fucking doing something. Yeah, he's doing something. But yeah, but you're right. There's that weird thing where you're confused. But anyway, I'm moving swiftly on. But when we introduce to Paul Walker, what's really strange is he looks so young. Yeah. They've put a bit of mud on his face like he's the jock, don't they? And he's a bit taller than most of the cast, actually, which is quite interesting. I think he's about 6 foot in real life. But then the fight breaks out. Again, it's that classic thing. The boyfriend's about 30. Paul Walker looks about 15, and they're having this fight, which ends up with him grabbing his bollocks. Then he grabs his bollocks, and the police turn up, and I'm like, this is fucking weird. Like it's one of them silly fights, in it, school ground fights. But the ex just seems to be an utter wanker that nobody has any control over. He's only a little weasel, isn't he? Look, like it's like, this doesn't make any sense. And why she's panicking about him, saying, "Oh no, don't." And he's like, "I'm not scared of him." And obviously, we pretty much get into. It's an 82-minute movie. We pretty much get into the bones of what's going on. Is because after that, we then get to the fucking doctor with the T-Rex, with the sexy nurse, Dave, fucking Helga. She's called Helga. That's what she's called. She's there, and he's like, he's going about the Tyrannosaurus Rex, in he? The fucking animatronics are terrible, but he's like, we've got the big muscly guy there, and he's talking about what they can do to this dinosaur and all this. Like, it's just ridiculous, isn't it? And but I'm not offended by it, if that makes sense. Like, I'm watching it going, oh, this is utter shit. But it's not a movie where I'm like, I really want to turn this off, because I'm sort of watching going, I don't want to know what's going on as well. How do we get to this point? It's very weird. I don't know about you, but Jack's done us because it's fucking awful. But in the same respect, I sort of respect the fact that it's a shit movie, and knowing the backdrop of it was made in a month, I'm not disliking it like I would normally say, this is the worst film ever. I don't think it is, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, there's no bones about it. This is a terrible movie. Really bad. But like you say, knowing the backstory, and you have to start thinking about it as one of those good, terrible movies, because it is just ridiculous. I mean, you say about Billy, he kind of had those Luther vibes. The David Patrick Kelly character from Warriors? Pipsqueak who's like fucking got a chip on his shoulder. But also, it kind of reminded me of Miami Connection as well. And the baddie out of, if you remember, we were talking about Charlie Sheen, the Wraith.
Fucking hell, yeah.
You have the high school bully, so let's call him the Biff character, only they are just a fucking blatant murderer as well, and everyone's okay with it. He's not just like pinching people's school dinner money and stuff. He's actually ready to murder people. So yeah, it was just way over the top there. And then again, the bit where, let's rewind a bit. They're having a fight. Okay, fair enough. Happens up and down every school, every country, I'm pretty sure. But then they're basically grabbing each other's cocks.
Yeah.
And in a deadlock. And no, it's not a school teacher that comes along. It's the fucking police. Just like, I know it was written in a rush, but my mind's exploding a bit at what's going on here. And then obviously, Tammy gets all upset and just runs off upset. So much is packed. So much nonsense is packed into this little bit here. But yeah, it kind of grabs you, no pun intended. It grabs you right from the off, I think.
Yeah, it does. It really does. And Denise Richards, obviously, she is the main star, isn't she? Because with Paul Walker, like say, he gets off within about 15 minutes. And David, that's what takes me away a little bit. He's like a Benny Hill sketch with that Helga behind him.
Yeah.
You know, like she's not blonde, so I wasn't getting any stirrings. But with the doctor, he's smoking a fag. When the lion attacks him, he's like, he looks like he's dead. And then, I mean, I read one of those fucking trivia. Paul Walker loved wild animals. He loved being attacked by a lion, did he? Yeah, fuck yeah, I loved him. Yeah, don't do that. It's just nipping at me. But when he gets to the hospital, there's not much damage to him. But he comes in smoking a fag, doesn't he, in the hospital with this fucking nurse. And I'm like, that wouldn't even happen. That's not even real. He's just so cocky and he can somehow just take control of this lad. But we do get some gore because apparently there's 6 minutes of unedited edited stuff that was cut out to get the rating down in America, but in some of the other countries they've released it as an R, haven't they?
Well, we'll have watched the Vinegar Syndrome version of it, which is the uncut version. So that's why we got all the gore and stuff. They'd taken out a bunch of the gore, like, you know, I'm presuming you saw the version where when the doctor eventually does get killed, you see all his guts and everything. Well,
yes.
That wasn't in the PG-13 rating, but it was Vinegar Syndrome. You know, we've done a few of theirs, New York Ninja being one.
Yeah.
And there's been others that we've done that have been restored. So yeah, and you know what? I'm going to give you another callback, Chris, now. So Nick Fury, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. with David Hasselhoff.
Legend.
Remember the baddie in that, Viper, who was basically just in sexy lingerie and stuff. Definitely channeling a bit of that. But the whole thing with the baddies is very much like Batman 66, I find. You know, it's all like just having the Penguin and the Joker just, you know, concocting a plan or something. And well, actually, I'm going to rewind back a bit because fucking hell, Paul Walker, when Denise Richards invites him round, or let's stick to the character's name, Tammy. And, you know, it was originally Tanny, but for whatever reason, they decided to call her Tammy at the end, but she's credited as Tanny in this. She says, like, oh, come on, you know, you're going to have to be quiet because my parents are here, but can you come around? I'm like, fucking hell, that is a danger shag, isn't it, with your mum and dad there? But he's like, yes, he's straight off there. He's like, I'm on a fucking promise. Let's go. And then, like you say, he gets killed. But the bit that I wanted to get to, the fucking when they come in, that you said there into the hospital, they're pretending to be the doctors, and he's like, live.
Yeah, live.
It's like, oh no, he's gone. Oh, come on then, should we go? And I'm like, fucking hell, this is like a Simpsons sketch or something.
You can't remind me of Dr. Nick.
Ridiculous. Yeah.
That's who did.
Hello, everybody.
She's Dr. Nick. Yeah, you know. But I'm trying to work out, Paul Walker in this was so he was 21 actually, but when that nurse is giving him fucking basically snogging him, isn't she? But like it's supposed to be CPR, then he's fucking whacking him and all that. But yes, it's because we've seen the vinegar stroke. Fuck me, Dave. It's all on my fucking brain, isn't it? The vinegar stroke version, not the syndrome. The vinegar stroke version. Yeah, the vinegar stroke version.
Strokes.
I feel my shoulder now. But when they take you back, so we see the gore, depending on what version you watch. And they basically give him a lobotomy, don't they, Paul Walker? They take his brain out. They do all that, you know, to put him in the T-Rex. It's fucking utterly preposterous, this bit. So it all goes in, and they're at a party out there, and they're fucking all there. And there's a couple there fucking shagging away, and she's fucking going, and she's fucking going for it, and the bloke thinks he's fingering, and then she sees the dinosaur. But it's the way, fucking Michael, the dinosaur, picks her up by like a foot, and then he's there, the guy, and then he ends up getting fucking mutilated. Then these people being mutilated, isn't there, throughout this party? But he does pick up Byron, you know, Sammy's friend. He gets picked up
just
dusts his shoulders down these fake T-Rex arms, the little T-Rex hands, as some of you. A non-Everton fan, we do call Jordan Pickford because he has got the little arms, doesn't he, Dave? If you're an Everton fan, but he puts them. You can clearly see the hands, and he's like looking, going, "What the fuck's going on?" And that's a little bit of plot device to go, "Oh, actually, he's not that bad. He's still got that that brain in him of who he is. But yeah, the whole T-Rex thing is just, it reminds me of like, I know it's not, you said Roger Corman, but like Eat My Dust, you know, just like, it's almost like a romp at this point, isn't it? You know, he's mutilated people. We've seen brains get pulled apart. But then we've got this silly, like, comedy fucking skit going on with the dinosaur then, and they're trying to protect him. It's just stupid movie, this.
So when, let's go back to that shagging bit, right? Because it's almost, you know, the comedy soundbite that you always like to try and fucking get me with. Like, you just open this, and then it's that fucking, you know, really over the top. Like, it was like that, wasn't it? And you've got Billy, and the thing is, they're both completely fully dressed. You know, she's got her legs right up in the air, but he's got his jeans on. She's got, you know, it's just ridiculous. But she's really going for it, like, oh yeah. And he's like, yeah, I'm doing good, aren't I? I'm doing good, or something. It's just ridiculous. But the thing is, Michael, like, it's still his brain, and he has been sort of murdered, but he, in the T-Rex body, suddenly this high school kid becomes a wanton fucking serial killer.
Yeah.
Just killing everyone. You know, he takes the head off the little guy who's, again, he's convinced. He thinks he's in Batman 66, he does. Like, he's just like, he will never be as good as my brain kind of thing. Ooh, You know, and so he's like the first one to go, and then you got the big muscly guy as well. He gets killed off, and then with the school party, there's some other recognizable faces there, just background characters mostly. But yeah, like you say, it is a romp. It becomes this kind of almost like a slasher with this T-Rex in it.
Yeah, it's bizarre, isn't it? Because obviously he's getting revenge, like you say, he's getting revenge on the people who've done that to him. But you know the bit with the obviously there's the bit with the lion and the jaguars. Reading up there, one of the stunt people got bit by a jaguar. Like, what context would you leave a live fucking jaguar in a fucking movie? And you know, expecting nothing else other than fucking someone getting fucking bit or something. But anyway, yeah. So, but you're right. Like, he goes from this like lovable guy, and I sort of get the revenge plot with the jocks. All these people have been horrible to him, but there is, like you said, there's a load of fucking like people just getting taken out just because they're in the crossfire, aren't there? There's loads of like innocent bystanders who just get mutilated. But when they're traveling with the dinosaur on the back of the fucking truck, and he's like that. It's a knockout bobblehead, isn't it? I know it's an animatronic. They obviously didn't have the budget or probably insurance to put it in the back of a truck, but they've obviously got a T-Rex head. And when they're traveling around it, it's just doing it now. It's bouncing up and down like that fucking proper. It's a knockout game where the massive bobbleheads. But yeah, it's weird, isn't it? Because when we watched Thingy the other week, the fucking two-headed thing, what was it?
The thing with two heads.
Thing with two heads, that thing, yeah. And you could see these bits. That's the early 70s, so that's 20 years before this. But you can tell that they've filmed it all within the same location. This is the same, isn't it? They had like they only had a few weeks to film this, and a lot of the stuff they had to do out on site was done over, say, 24 hours to get the shots, get what they needed in. So I've got to respect them for that, because there is some mildly good special effects with the gore and everything, isn't there? You know, like there is some good practical effects as well. It's not just like silliness, but all the way through it, when Michael is the T-Rex and Tammy are there, and he's literally behind a spoon in it, Dave. And I'm like, they're in that fucking shed, aren't they? Sort of thing.
Yeah.
In that, like, and I'm like, come on, fuck off. You know, like
charades bit.
She just fucking had a bit with him or something. And she just fucking give him a fucking, a hand job or something. The fucking dinosaur dick there. I don't know. It's bizarre, that, isn't it? Like, what the fuck? You know, the year before we've got Jurassic Park there with a massive T-Rex, haven't we? You know, massive budget film, everything. And then you've got this. I was honestly thinking, oh my God, she's not going to actually fucking slip the fucking dinosaur.
Oh.
It was like, come on, don't do that to us. But you could see the way it was going, couldn't you? That it was just something really bizarre about it.
Yeah. you say about the location. So again, just part of saving money, just logistics as well. You try and turn this thing around so quickly. All of the locations were within 25 minutes of the producer's house, director's house. Sorry,
Good laugh.
fucking amazing. You've got to love it, haven't you, for that reason? But I think that before Tammy actually figures out that it is Michael, because as far as she's concerned initially, he's just fucking running around killing all these people. But then they do this, like, she's like, is it brain? Oh, you're Michael. I'm like, come on. So yeah, I did think that was funny, that bit. I don't know if it was intentionally funny, but I did laugh at that bit.
Yeah, and also you're right. Yeah, fucking ridiculous. The thing you make me laugh, Dave. The coppers, they're like Roscoe out of fucking Dukes of Hazzard. The two coppers who were just there all the way through, aren't they? But again, have we ever seen a movie, unless the main character's a cop, like fucking Riggs or something? None of these fucking coppers in the police outfits are fucking any good in any movie. They can't shoot. They're fucking like obviously Star Wars. They're just useless. They're just there as cannon fodder. You know full well the cops are going to end up fucking taking one for the team till the hero comes in. And in this, they're like a comedy act, aren't they? But not funny. It's like they've been given this thing and said, right, what can you come up together? They almost look like, to be fair, that there are a couple of mates who probably do comedy sketches, because they do sort of bounce off each other, but none of it lands. And especially like when the doctor gets fucking taken out and everything, and it's like when people are getting killed, the cops are not even asked. They're not like, oh look, there's a dinosaur running rampage and killing people. Let's not bother with that at all. It's fucking bizarre, isn't it? And when Denise Richards goes to the fucking cemetery to get his body, because she wants a brain, doesn't she, to put the brain in, and he's fucking he's decapitated, and he's like, fucking hell, like, it's really fucking morbid, isn't it?
But then they go to the hospital, don't they, Tammy and Byron, to find more of a fresh body.
Yeah.
They do the whole thing, don't they, where they're saying, oh, this guy looks all right, and then they obviously lift the blanket up a bit more to look at his cock. And this guy obviously had a massive cock or something, because she's like, oh, no. And Byron's like, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, let's be honest, Dave. Byron's, mid-90s, they proper play into that gay stereotype, don't they?
Oh, definitely.
You know what I mean? Like, it's, come on. You wouldn't do that now. But yeah, even when they're taking Paul Walker's brain out, though, and his dick's going fucking massive, and I'm thinking, he's got a fucking schlong on him there. I'm thinking, fuck me, you better put mine over my nose if you want something fucking poking up. He's fucking massive, and I know it's all part of the skit and everything.
I've forgotten about when they were playing around with his brain, and they were like saying, "Oh, look at this," and then they give him a big fucking hard on.
Yeah, then he's up and down. Yeah. It's like the lucky bastard. He's good looking, and he's got a fucking massive cock as well, yeah.
But the thing is, with Byron, I mean, God, you have to say it's so over the top in terms of this gay stereotype, but I think he's one of the most endearing characters on the movie. And so it's another one where I'm slightly conflicted, because, you wouldn't get that now, and I don't think you should. But I do think he plays a great character in this for the time.
Yes. Yeah, he's good. He's actually good in it. And I'm not just saying that. He is. Theo Fawcett is the actor. He's a good foil actor, and he's something different as well. Because, like, you get movies now, and they'll have, like, the girls have, say, a gay friend or whatever. Whereas in this was probably ahead of its time, really, Dave. For like the mid-90s, you know, it's played out a lot in later movies.
I don't know about ahead of its time, but
yeah, it's a bit fucking thingy. But you get what I'm saying, don't you? It was unusual to see for a 90s movie. For that,
I'm thinking about it. I mean, you had John Inman in, like, Are You Being Served, haven't you? You had these very flamboyant characters and stuff. So I think it is of its time. But But when you say about the cops, and another thing I sort of forgotten about as well, Michael's uncle, who's got like a guardianship of him, he's just some fucking drunk, wasn't he? He
Yeah.
reminded me. Remember when we covered, really going back now, when we did like Superman 2, I think it was, and there's that guy who always pops up who.
He's the drunk, yes.
The drunk, he's like,
yeah.
that's his character, and then something happens, and then he looks at the drink, and then throws it away. It's like,
Yes.
oh, he's channeling that guy. But yeah, I mean, they eventually chase him down. You get a good scene where, you know, Tammy's riding the dinosaur, and you know, I did see one of the. No, like,
Sure about that.
That's in the other cut. You know, but you get the iconic shot, don't you, where she's on his back. But then they get basically pinned down, don't they? You know, he gets trapped, and then you get the big shootout. Now I don't know how they had to wrap it up in some way, didn't they? You know, he couldn't forever be in this dinosaur skeleton type thing.
No, he couldn't. But then the movie does take a plot twist, Dave, because I've got to be honest, I was like, and now I'll give you a bit of context at this point. I'm watching it, and Sam finishes early on a Friday, and I'm trying to watch it, so I know that we usually go for a quick walk, and a quick walk,
Yeah.
and then we were actually going to be doing something ourselves, weren't we? Together, me and you, wanted to have a chat. So we were like, right, we'll get there, we'll sit down, you know, sort our diaries out, let's have a chat and everything. And we were trying to work through some stuff, but I was like, she comes in. And literally the movie's at that point. So I'm like, hey, Sam, you all right? Yeah, sure. I'll just go and get changed. And I've got it on in my living room, the end bit, right? And I'm like, oh, what the fuck's going on here? Because she's got the brain. She sets up the camera, and I'm thinking, well, this is 1994. It was filmed in 93. This is like the internet. He's got like a webcam. And Paul Walker's talking. And then I was like, oh, shit. Now, bear in mind, her mum and dad are downstairs, and she's gone in the hallway and got on this proper sexy white negligee, hasn't she?
Yeah.
Comes in and then starts fucking performing for him. But then she's making noises, and I'm going, fuck me, Sam's probably upstairs going, what the fuck is he watching? Right. So it all plays out. She comes down. We're going out, and then I start telling her on our walk, like that whole scene plays out, and we'll talk about it, about what happened. But it plays, and I said to her, I went, and Jordan's in the house anyway. Jordan's in the fucking bedroom. Like, I said, I've just watched this fucking film. She went, you know, there's better things you can be doing with your life. These fucking movies you watch. I said, yeah, well, let me tell you about Denise Richards. And you know, got a bit of a thing for Denise Richards. I went, well, basically, Paul Walker, and she liked Paul Walker in Fast and Furious. Went, he gets killed, becomes a dinosaur, but then he's got his brain. He goes on a rampage, but then at the end, she's literally giving him a strip season. She went, oh, I wonder why he looks a bit fucking shifty. I went, shifty? I was like, well, the key's not in the door. My daughter's upstairs. What the fuck do you want me to do? I went, what are you trying to say here, Sam? And she just starts laughing. She went, I don't want to fucking know. So I was gutted then. I was trying to tell her the premise of the movie, Dave, but I think she just thought I was slightly pulling one off.
Say the key's not in the door. You're giving away trade secrets.
I may have done that. Yeah, I didn't even. Yeah, now I've just said that. Yeah, fucking dickhead. Yeah, I did actually say that in my defence, but I don't think she picked up on that, Dave. And the curtains weren't shut anyway. But anyway, back to that scene. So that was my context of watching that scene. But my God, does she look sexy in that one, Dave?
Honestly, had 18-year-old me had access to this video, it wouldn't have been able to be restored. It would have worn out at this end bit, I think. And honestly, I feel like the story about why the movie was created was apparently this guy had access to this animatronic T-Rex. And I kind of feel like that might be bullshit. And actually the end scene was actually where the germ of the idea for the film started. And then everything was working back from that. So yeah, it was a bonkers ending, wasn't it? But yeah, young me would have been very happy with this. Honestly, though, her parents are shit, really, aren't they? You know, when Billy, murderous fucking Billy, storms into the house earlier on in the movie, you know, the parents are just like, oh yeah, hey Billy, you know, just go on up and just start threatening people. That's fine. And then, you know, at the end, they're just discussing, oh, you know, she's way too happy than she should be. But she is almost it's like she's in a Whitesnake video or something, isn't it?
Yes.
You know, the way she's prancing around there. And what the hell? The fucking stuff with Paul Walker as well. He's like, oh yeah. And then like, I don't know, she's pouring alcohol, you know, giving him a bit of a drink there. And I don't know, is he blowing his load or something there? Because all some kind of weirdness is going on. There's splurging everywhere. So it's honestly a fucking bonkers ending to a bonkers movie.
Brilliant. It is brilliant. Yeah, when then the brain just starts fucking smoking, sparking. I'm like, well, he's having the time of his life. But they invented the webcam, Dave.
Yeah,
that's what was bizarre. Yeah. But yeah, what an ending to a movie, and what a pick from Jack. Absolute class. So, Dave, shall we get into our scores?
Let's go.
So, Dave, honestly, when I first started watching this movie, I was thinking, fucking Jack's done us here. This is fucking terrible. What an awful movie. I'm going to hate it. And I didn't really. Maybe it was the Denise Richards being in it, Dave. You know, probably like hoping she'd steal every scene and you know, that young Chris, a 15-year-old Chris, going back to that, thinking I'd be looking at every fucking angle, every fucking bit of light to see if we do get any nipple, you know, a nipple shadow or something like that, or a perky nipple, Dave. I would have been fucking straight on it. But the end bit, you're right. Fucking hell, I would have nailed my fucking shoulder to the wall that many times watching this. I'm telling you, fuck me. Gee, I'd be thinking, you know what? In fucking 20 years' time or whatever, Chris, your shoulder's going to be fucked. But I tell you what, it's all going to be worth it, son. And it would have been, Dave, every fucking stroke. But anyway, it's not a bad movie. It's just stupid. I understand the cult status of it. I understand why it was re-released and sort of remastered as well on like a cinema run later on. It's absolute shocking movie. It's fucking terrible. But and there's one bit we haven't mentioned is when the doctor is talking and the dinosaur goes, and then the nurse just drops down to give him a fucking blowjob in the middle of the street. Nothing said, and he's not looking at the camera going, ooh. And it's like, nobody's bothered about this. Is this not illegal? But, you know, anyway, we didn't talk about that.
Wasn't it?
Fucking telling you. I was like, well, we're definitely. Then this is where my illusion of nurses came from, Dave. Not bedpans or anything. It was stockings and suspenders, and high heels. But anyway, it is just a silly movie, and I reckon it'll never be on UK TV, but I'm not averse to watching it again. If we did a watch along or something like that, this is just a stupid movie that the payoff is the end. I'm going to be honest. The payoff is without a doubt the end bit. That is fucking brilliant. It's 81 minutes of utter shit and then 1 minute of class at the end. So I'm going to send it to Elm Street, Dave. It's not the worst thing I've ever seen, and I'm glad Jack's picked it and I can tick it off the box. But my God, what a really, really strange and also utterly classic movie.
Yeah, I think I'm in the same place. It is a terrible movie. It's a bonkers premise. I love, though, the way it's all been put together, and it's been put together so quickly. You know, this is not something that someone has agonized about for 3 years and eventually got someone to put up the cash for it, and then they've spent 6 months putting it all together. No, this was just an opportunistic thing put together. So many of these B movies, like you said before, they're full of actors that you'll never hear of again. But, you know, getting that star talent in, you know, getting these two stunning people, Paul Walker and Denise Richards, I think was a really good move as well. And like you say, I can't add any to the end that you've said there, but I'm not going to disagree with any of it. And yeah, I can't say I'm going to be rushing to watch this again next week or anything, but I'll definitely watch this again. And it's an Elm Street for me as well. I think it is it's on the pile of good, bad movies. But it's not, again, it's not a Miami Connection or a Samurai Cop or anything. But there is enough in there to definitely warrant watching.
Oh, 100%, 100%. And what's so strange about our podcast, Dave, is next week's pick is our amazing friend and patron, Helen. And we thank you for always support, Helen. And it's another Denise Richards movie, Dave. Now, this movie, let's be honest, Dave, I'm fucking limbering up as I say it right now. I think I'm going to have to pull I'm not just going to pull my shoulder out, but I'm actually going to have to have a think, Dave. You've produced some magic over the last few months in relation to songs and that, but Wild Thing is what we're going to be covering next week, Dave. Wild Things, and I fucking love this movie when it first came out. I was with Samantha at the time, Dave, so it wasn't enjoyed in its full Chris Phelps glory with the the video at a certain point or anything, but I remember it so well, and I cannot wait to cover this one. So,
You do.
so shall we get into the trailer?
Let's go.
We've come to the halfway point of our senior seminars. Our guests today come from the Blue Bay Police Department.
Why don't we begin with a question? What is a sex crime?
Not getting any.
Welcome to the town of Blue Bay.
Hi, Mr. Lombardo.
Hey, girls.
So where's your hose, Mr. Lombardo?
Serious trouble, Mr. Lombardo here.
Where innocence can seduce.
He started rubbing my shoulders.
Accusations can destroy.
I'm innocent.
You guys do sex crimes, right?
When was this that Sam Lombardo gave you the ride?
Did Sam Lombardo rape you?
Yeah, okay, he did. He pushed me to the floor.
And appearances can deceive.
Kelly said that we should do this to hurt Mr. Lombardo. She found out that Mr. Lombardo was in love with her mom, and that was it.
So you stay here! You know how my mom's paying you off? She's breaking my trust.
We bought it, hook, line, and sinker. Now they're getting away with $8 million of Sandra Van Ryan's money.
You want my gut? There's more to this story than you know.
After tonight, the three of us not to be seen together again.
After tonight?
I was curious about how you see things working out for you and Sam.
Oh my God.
I mean, it's hard enough for one person to keep a secret, let alone three. Especially when two
Have to warm up a bit, a bit older these days.
Sam, we're going to share that money with you, do you?
I think we need a few
younger.
Case.
Yeah.
These people's lives.
Sam, I'm really nervous.
I need you to be there for me tonight. We got to stick to the plan.
There's no one to trust. You can trust me.
You know what, Dave? I forgot there was actually a story behind this movie. I'll be honest with you. That's quite good.
She's going to blow it.
Don't touch me.
And this is Nee Campbell at full-on Sidney Prescott at this point.
Things.
It's totally
Two's
typecast.
company, three's a crowd.
Oh, Bill Murray?
Yeah.
Or is it just for boys?
Oh, my word. Oh, my word.
It's one of those weird things that the universe has done for us, though. I mean, I don't know, have we done any Denise Richards before? And then suddenly we get 2 Patreon picks, and I haven't manipulated it as well. It was literally, Helen was due to go after Jack, and so, yeah, just pick Wild Things, and I thought, oh, thank you. God.
You say that, Dave. You said, have we ever done any Denise Richards? Not in the reviewing sense, but anyway. Moving on. So, big thank you, Helen. You have made my week. Definitely. I'll definitely have to have the key in the door and the curtain shut for this one. Make sure there's nobody in the house when we watch this thing. But anyway, if you do want to support us and throw our shoulders out at any point, please get over to patreon.com/VHS Strikes Back. If you want to email us, the VHS Strikes Back @gmail.com, or if you want to follow us on social media @the VHS Strikes Back. So a massive thank you to all our patrons, past and present, and we really appreciate some of these movies are just classics. So the roll call of honor for today, Dave, is big thank you to John, Mike, Lee, Helen, Dylan, Stephen, Trent, Dan, Justin, Susan, Timothy, Matt, Hales, Kent, Lucky Lulu Green, Herbs, Jack, Math, Blake, Glenn Davis, John Hammond, and Mr. Tony Farina. So thank you so much, guys, for all your support. Now, Dave, I know this isn't the end. What have you got up your sleeve, my friend? Because I'm looking forward to this.
Well, you know what? I don't usually plug other podcasts and stuff, which is stupid, really. I'm just crap at it. But I'll be recording next week with Tony and Max on the Mandatory Music and CD podcast, and we're going to be covering the Beauty and the Beat album. And so that's been kind of an earworm for me. And so I had that in mind when I was coming to this one as well. So this one is Tammy and the T-Rex. A little bit different, Chris.
Yeah. You're always surprised with these. Pretty indie this day.
A little bit of American fiction at the end. I've tried to get a catchy chorus as well.
Yeah. Some of these songs you don't know, like proper movie feel. You can feel them in a movie, couldn't you? It's just like someone driving down the main street at the start of a movie or something.
Yeah.
Tammy was a girl in a nowhere town, had a boyfriend who couldn't stick around, ended up in a T-Rex so strong, now she's dating him and his dino schlong. He's got tiny arms but knows how to please, crushing everything, bringing towns to their knees. He likes Tammy and he's ready to shout, with his teeny weeny arms he can't sort himself out. Oh, whoa, Tammy, Tammy and the T-Rex.
Like Susie in the band.
Tammy and the T-Rex. Yeah.
Bloody love that chorus.
Movie villains tried to bring them down, but a T-Rex roar shook the whole town. Tammy standing tall by her dino side, together they're unstoppable, ready for a ride.
Innuendo in this one.
Yeah.
Oh, whoa, Tammy, Tammy and the T-Rex. Whoa, Tammy, Tammy and the T-Rex. Whoa.
This would definitely not be out of place at the end of the movie, this.
Yeah.
That's Pulp Fiction, 100%. I like that.
Tammy and the T-Rex. Whoa, Tammy and the T-Rex. Whoa, Tammy and the T-Rex.
Very good. Very good.
There you go. I had a lot of fun again putting that one together. I love the chorus bit. And this is, of course, 94, isn't it? Same year that Pulp Fiction came out. So the little bit of guitar there at the end, absolutely love. So thank you very much, sir, again for indulging me. And before I get into my outro, I did say last week that I'd add a little note to myself because I'd forget. Because you said you were definitely going to watch Three Men and a Little Lady. So I have to ask you, how did that go?
Anyway, thanks everybody for today. It's been a great podcast. Sorry, Dave, I can't hear you. I'm just hoping you can hear me on the recording and just put this in. Fucking memory like a goldfish. Just call me Dory, Dave. It's fine. All that commitment and everything. Yeah,
you're so invested in that moment, though. I know.
I love it. Fucking knew as well, didn't you? You know me. Yeah, you fucking know me so well.
Honestly, mate, it's been so much fun again. Thank you very much. So, thanks to all our listeners out there. Thanks to all our supporters, and we'll speak to you next time.
Bye.
That's it, man. Game over, man. It's game over. What the fuck are we gonna do now? What are we gonna do?
Maybe we could build a fire, sing a couple of songs, huh? Why don't we try that?
We better get back, because it'll be dark soon, and they mostly come at night. Mostly.
I'll be back.
That's odd.
We came, we saw, we kicked its ass.
Wax on, wax off.
Get to the chopper!
One ring to go. All right. Ding, ding. Bust you up. Go for it.
Well, here we go.
Ain't so bad. Ain't so bad. Ain't so bad. Come on. Ain't so bad. Come on. You must be crazy or something. I'm crazy. You just so stupid. Yeah, maybe you're stupid. You ain't breathing heavy. He's a fool. He's stupid. I've seen you at 6 months.